All right, I'm checking my box. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Are we live on YouTube?
Nope, not yet. I'll tell you. And we're live.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Communication Breakdown. This is episode number 5. Thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Sandra. With me tonight, as always, is my brother, my cohort, my co-host, partner in crime. You know him, you love him, the big, fun, furry, fuzzy, loving Viking dude that is not a Michelin star chef. Gary, Big G, Thunder.
What's up, boys and girls? Why is my head so big? Holy shit. Hey, guys.
Special
Thanks
guest
for
Hack.
coming. Hey, what's up, sister? How you doing?
There we go. We're just right into it.
Perfect.
I'm good, Gary. You?
Something crazy is going on because everything's going crazy. The audio's all fucked up. I don't know what's going on.
You can't hear us?
Oh, he just dropped out.
Yep.
And he's come back in again. Anyways, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Oh.
We back?
You're
You're
back.
back.
All right. I had to refresh. I don't know what was going on there. That was crazy.
No worries.
Oh, Sandra, you want to do the shout outs? You want me to do them?
Go ahead.
Fruitcake Tony in the house. What's up? Brother Mitch. How you doing, buddy? Alan Robinson. What's up, man? New name, I don't know. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming in.
Yep, thanks for coming.
Sandra. Hi, how you doing?
Jack the Rabbit.
Jack. Love you, Jack. What's up, buddy?
Clive.
Clive. What's up,
Mr.
bro?
Mitch Heyman.
Clive stayed up for this.
Johnny Bean. We got Johnny Bean in the house.
Johnny
What's up, JB?
Hi, Johnny.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Dwight Bailey.
And I don't know if it's my internet or something else, but everything's going haywire all of a sudden.
You sound good. You look good.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Is everything buffering for you guys or just me?
Just you.
Right here.
All right. I'm going to have to reboot, and I'll be back
Okay.
in like 2 seconds because I don't know what the hell's going on.
No problem.
I'll be right back.
So how you doing, Sandra?
Just when I thought I would have a show without any hitches or hiccups or glitches.
Welcome to live streaming.
It never fails to happen. Never.
I tell you, it ain't as easy as it looks. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man.
Especially making it look smooth.
So how are you? Where are you in the world? I have no idea where you're at.
Oh, I'm in Canada. I'm in Toronto, Canada. So
Canada.
Everybody hates Toronto because we are the epicenter of Canada. Any Canadians watching will hate that comment, but it's the truth.
It's big, ain't it?
Yeah, Toronto's kind of like imagine New York City, but on a little smaller scale. But you know, the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, is like 7 million people. So pretty much everybody lives in areas. So.
That's a lot.
And then the rest are all spread out. So yeah.
And you've been there your whole life?
Yeah, born and bred. Yeah. It's good. I mean, like Canada, the winters suck, but like we had 3 days of summer this past week, and now it's back to fall again. It's just.
It's like Wisconsin.
Yeah. I was just saying to my neighbor, I go, "Hey, did you enjoy your summer? Remember those 3 days?"
Yeah.
But apart from the weather, I mean, it's I don't know anything different, so I've been living here all my life, and it's cool. That's cool.
Very cool. So, what got you started on a YouTube channel? Why a YouTube channel?
So I've been doing YouTube probably 3 or 4 years, and I started off. What I was doing was whenever I got a piece of gear, because like I came back to music, which is another story. A few years ago, when I started getting gear and getting back into it, I I started demoing all my gear. And back then, I didn't even show my face. It was like, here's this thing. Here's what it sounds like. Here's what I think about it. And the funny thing is, and they were shitty quality videos. Like I was using like a tablet, like an old tablet with,
Sure.
some cheap free.
Windows Media Edit, Windows Live Media Editor.
That was actually it was Power Director. It was like a free download. Anyways, it was crap, and the sound quality and all that was crap. And the funny thing is, those videos still get more views than anything.
Welcome back, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
I think I figured it out. Hey, Hack. Hey, Sandra.
So,
My Spotify, when it fires up on its own, I think it jams everything up. So I
did that.
Hello, chat. If you're just tuning in, thanks for being here. We are live with
thanks.
Guitar Hack.
Welcome, everybody.
Dwight, what's up?
So
I'm sorry, continue your conversation.
It's all right. So I did videos like that for a long time, and then I decided to decided to go live, and then and when I went back then, you could use Google Hangouts, and it was really easy to do. And I literally I'd be sitting in the backyard, go Google Live. I'd be sitting out there with a cigar, and I just, channel was already there, and I had, maybe first time 4 or 5 people, and then 10 people, and then 15 people, and then 20 people, and it was just that, and then I discovered this whole sort of for lack of a better term, a community of people, right?
Right.
And then I started. So I thought, I started doing it regular, but the live streaming and the regular content, and actually when I first started showing my face, that's all been. It's probably going to be like 2 years this summer.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then the channel has grown since I started doing regular. Once you got regular stuff going on and people expect you to be on, and it just kind of.
Right.
Thanks to everybody in the chat, and, all you guys. Yeah.
Did somebody just lock their car? What was that?
That was. If you saw me,
are we going through drive-through right now?
If you see me pointing a minute ago, I'm like, hang on a minute, and doing. My next door neighbor just walked over with a.
What the?
With a.
USB.
Yeah. And he's telling me what I gotta listen to first. He's a DJ and he mixes and does all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, cool. That's
cool. Yeah, that is cool.
He's telling me what track to listen to first. It's like, dude, I'm live on fucking YouTube. What are you fucking doing?
Mitch Heyman says,
and he's an IT guy. That's what's even funnier.
I'm working here.
Come on.
Hack, you have a magnetic personality.
Wow. Appreciate it.
That is from Mitch Heyman.
Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate it.
You are very magnetic. Hack.
I'm not looking at the chat, by the way. Hey, I'm way back from my screen and I can't see it.
Put your readers on, bro.
Yeah, and and I'm staying back so I don't get feedback because my Bluetooth headset's still not working right. So anyway,
right on. I'm wearing earmuffs and sweating my ass off here in Florida, and you have like headphone free. Thanks.
That's right.
Yeah, I just have on these little earbuds.
All right, can we get to the serious questions now?
Oh,
because there's stuff about this guy I want to know.
Oh, God.
Yes. My God.
Sandra, get the rubber hose and the phone book and the bright light because we're gonna like beat Hack down here for a second. So Hack, when did you start playing guitar?
I would say it was like around 12 or 13. I wanted to play, and I had no guitar. Nobody was gonna. My parents like zero. He's not gonna want to do it.
Yep.
And I ended up actually my neighbor, a buddy of mine. He had an older sister that had a guitar in a closet that she just sort of ignored. She had moved out, whatever. And he goes, "Well, you can borrow this." And the strings on that thing were a good inch and a half off the fretboard.
That's
Right?
everybody's first guitar, man.
Yeah. So I had that guitar in my house for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And I had some friends in the old neighborhood that were taking lessons, and I'd kill to have lessons, and they were taking lessons and didn't give a shit.
Right.
And I would kill for lessons, and I learned a bar chord. So I immediately, and I couldn't play and no lessons, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I got this shape that I can move, and it was just like the 1/5. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'm gonna start writing my own songs. And I was writing songs because I didn't know any better to try and play the stuff that I liked at the time. So I
Yep.
just started writing a bunch of songs and
There you go.
stuff. And yeah, it was like that. And then I don't know, it's like maybe 13 or 14 or something. And then I got enough money together and bought my first electric, which was a Univox Gibson Les Paul copy, Cherry Burst,
Wow.
the Hero, Ace Frehley at the time. And
Yep.
and then I played that for another year and a half, 2 years with no amp because I didn't have money for an amp. It was kind of like that. Like,
Oh man.
it's been an uphill battle from day one. So, yeah.
Who made you want to play? Who made you want to play guitar? Ace.
Well, when I was a kid, the first time I heard like heavy guitar, I was like, oh man, I just love the sound of it. So, the first, like, I have my uncle who's not that much older than me. He's only 6 years older than me. I remember being in his car and he'd be playing like Heart and Nazareth and Aerosmith.
Nazareth, man. Aerosmith. Yep.
I'm like, it wasn't a Kiss fan, but he was into that. And then I heard a lot of Bachman Turner Overdrive, which I loved. And then I had a kid up the street who was into Kiss, and then once I saw a picture of Kiss, I'm like, holy shit, these guys are really cool. And then I heard their music, and I'm like, there's that heavy guitar song that I like, and it was like the two just kind of came together. So
That's cool, man.
I just want to be able to. I wanted to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Originally, I wanted to be a drummer, actually, but
That's funny. So did I.
good luck with that, right?
Yeah. My mom wasn't having any part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
So-
Nope.
So it was guitar, and that's kind of what got me started was the heavy guitar, and then the Kiss thing, and I love. I mean, to this day, I still love Ace from the set.
Oh yeah.
Up till about the Unmasked record, and then he kind of fell off the.
Right.
But up to that point, I mean, and then eventually, when I got older, then I started to get into like, the Led Zeppelin. I didn't actually get into Zeppelin until I was in my 20s,
Wow.
and then Rush, and then all these other bands and that kind of thing. And I started, I went into a heavy Stevie Ray Vaughan phase and Jimi Hendrix and all kinds of shit. So, yeah.
That's funny. Once when I started playing when I was like 13, and I started dating who would be my first wife. She was 12, I was 13, and she was a big Styx fan.
Okay.
And I was really into Rush. And I
saw
said,
Styx.
if you like Styx, you need to check out Rush. And after I told her about Rush, she was like, fuck Styx. I love Rush. And she's been like a Rush fan ever since, to this day.
It's funny because
Hashtag fuck sticks.
it's like,
Well,
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of women in a Rush audience.
you don't. But my wife's...
That's too bad.
My first wife is super intelligent. And she just
Yeah,
likes she likes the mathematics of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the timing, weird timings and stuff. But Styx, my favorite album is Crystal Ball. That's like my favorite Styx album.
Yeah.
Crystal Ball is one of the best friggin' songs ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so your first guitar was a little kind of a piece of crap like I had for first guitar.
Yeah,
And
wooden
then
string tune to save my life.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had the same one. Strings are a half inch off the fucking fretboard.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
the acoustic. Yeah, that was brutal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So after you got your first amp, what happened?
Oh, then I bought my first amp, and I probably would have been about 15, maybe. I bought a PV Backstage solid state. I didn't know anything about amps. I just needed something that would make noise when I plugged into it. And
Right.
you know, and I kind of went with that for a long time. And then and then there was another kid who was playing guitar. Who was like a year younger than me. And he had a buddy who was a drummer, and then that was like the first band we'd play Kiss songs, and the band was called Conquest. We had no drummer and no vocals. You know,
How'd that work out for you?
You guys were rocking it hard, weren't you?
You know,
Playing for all you were worth it. Hell
but
yeah.
that guy actually went on to be in a touring band.
Conquest.
He actually toured. The guy that kid. So he went on. He did it for real. And
Somebody in chat hashtag conquest for me.
Yeah, right.
and Conquest. And then I can't remember.
yeah.
I can't believe I remember that. But anyways. But he had an SG and I had a Les Paul copy. Anyway, so we did that, and and then I was kind of picking it up here and there. I wasn't really like focused on trying to learn. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like
Thanks, Tom.
It was half baked because I had no direction. I had, I wanted lessons and I couldn't afford lessons, and so it was always kind of a half-baked kind of way, like I learned how to play like all of like, never mind I love the Sex Pistols too, by the way. I learned how to play the whole Never Mind the Bollocks record because it's all power chords.
Yeah.
It was all kind of like that, just developing by ear, trying to learn stuff by ear. I didn't really want to be a good guitar player until I was like maybe 20 years old. Then I got an opportunity to play for real, and then it's like I better up my game, and that's when I really started getting into it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I kind of went along the same line. It's like I wanted to be a drummer, and when I was in like elementary school, and I talked to the music teacher in elementary school. She's like, "Well, if you want to play drums, first you have to learn how to play xylophone."
Wow.
Like, what? Really?
Nice.
All right. So I had a set of vibes in my house when I was like 11 years old.
Right.
And I'm like,
Quentin fucking James.
I don't want to play this shit. And after like about a month, I told my mom, it's like, yeah, no, I want to play drums. She's like, you're not playing drums. How about accordion? And I'm like, accordion? Come on. We're getting like further away from the quest here. You're going in the total opposite direction.
My mom won't let me play any of the cool things.
Yeah, we settled on keyboards, right? So my mom rented this like friggin' Wurlitzer friggin' organ, so I could take like piano, like keyboard lessons. And that lasted about 2 months. And I'm like, no. It's like, how about guitar, Mom? Okay, yeah, that's good. That's quiet.
See, now I've been playing piano since I was 4 years old.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember any of my piano. I can hack around on piano, but I'm not like a keyboard player by any means.
But the stupid thing about it was like my uncle is like he's a composer, so
cool.
I have the musical gene, and it's but because it was I wanted to play rock and guitar, it's like I was always dissuaded from that,
Yep.
But over the years, like I developed an ear where like and this would kill me. We'd go visit family or people or whatever, and and they'd have a keyboard, and my eyes would light up, and I'd walk up to the keyboard, and there'd be something on the radio, and I'd play it on the keyboard, right, like the melody, right? And they're like, "How the hell do you do that?" And meanwhile, the kids there, like their family was supportive, and their kids would be paying for them to get lessons, and they didn't give a shit, and I'd be like, I'd kill myself to get a lesson. And I'm sitting there doing it by ear, and it's like, but no support, like zero. So, It was always kind of always an uphill battle. It was like School of Hard Knocks. Like it's like everything against you to play, but I just wanted to play. So,
Did you ever take guitar lessons at all?
after I was, when I took my first lessons, I was already like married.
Oh, really?
I was already playing professionally and making money. And I was playing everything by ear. And I remember going into the guy and I'm like, okay, play me a 1-4-5 and tell me what I'm doing. And I'd play over what he was playing. And I'm like, explain to me what I'm doing. He goes, oh, you're playing that scale and that scale. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing, like zero. And I'd be entertaining like people and playing solos and having absolutely no idea what I was playing, like none. Right? You know
like
what I mean?
Most of us.
It's just I know these things. I know this works.
Yep.
It was all by ear, by ear, by ear, by ear. I'm not saying I was good. I was adequate, but
Right, passable. More. Yeah.
And I remember the first guy. He says to me, he wrote out on their page, like he had like guitar line, like tab, I guess, kind of stuff, and he wrote out all the 5 positions of the pentatonic scale and the key of in A. So like, well, the A minor pentatonic. Now I know it's the A minor pentatonic scale, and he circled where all the roots are, and he goes, work on that. And then I learned how to play all those positions.
Yep.
And that was like the first time I actually knew where I should go. So.
Yeah, my first guitar teacher was nothing like that. Unfortunately.
Well, the guy hated me, eh? He was a prick, right? I didn't like the guy at all. Like that's all I got from that. I only took like 1 or 2, and then it's like, you know what? Like, I don't know. It was like an old hippie guy. Like he looked at me like I was, I don't know. Buddy, I'm paying you. You should be an
right.
asshole. I'm paying you.
My first guitar teacher was the orchestra leader of this place. It was like a dinner theater called the Chateau de Ville in Rhode Island. And he was the band leader of the orchestra. They had like a full orchestra.
Right.
And his name was Leo Amatrano. He could play every friggin' instrument there is. Everything. Right. And impeccably. I mean, he was like brilliant man. It was $6 for a half-hour lesson.
Yeah, that's what it was for me back then.
Yep. And this guy, I probably took about 8 or 10 lessons from him, playing the jacked up acoustic guitar with the action that high.
Right.
And one lesson, he said, next time when you come in, bring an album with a song you want to learn. And I'm like, okay. So I came with the first Boston album, More Than a Feeling.
Right.
The acoustic guitar intro.
Yeah.
That was my first concert I ever went to, by the way. It was Boston.
So I go into the lesson, right? He goes, what'd you pick out? I'm like, this. He's like never heard of him. Because the guy's like 50-something years old, and I'm like 14,
Right.
He goes, what song? More Than a Feeling. First track, first side. He puts it on, drops the needle, listens to the whole song all the way through, takes the needle off, puts it down, and played the entire song all the way through, note for note, on guitar.
Wow.
First time he ever heard the song. And I was like, holy crap. He was an old Italian guy, slick back, black hair,
right,
wearing shorts and socks and sandals. The typical, like, what a jamoke this guy is,
Right.
But man, he could play everything.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind. And I got totally discouraged after that. So I started the self-teaching, mostly by AC/DC albums.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember.
Then, I invited a bunch of friends in high school, junior high. It's like, come by the house. We can jam in my basement. First I got to find a drummer. Didn't care about a bass player or anybody else, but I need a drummer. And as soon as I got guys to bring equipment over my house, I started playing drums. Oh, just leave your drums here. That'd be okay. And I started playing drums because that's what I wanted to play in the first place.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to bring drums in my house so I could play the drums. I didn't give a shit about guitar.
Yeah, well, drums seems a lot easier at first, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, I remember I found this book called what was it called? the Heavy Guitar Bible or something. It was this white book, a little plastic record in the back, which was just it was like in the key of A. It was just like an A vamp that went on forever,
Right.
so they could play against, right? And I remember using that, and that's when I learned about the relative major to the minor was in that book. And I just like really worked on those scales, and I got to a point where I could like rip through scales really, really quick, you know. But yeah, it was all sort of self-taught, you know. And
Yeah.
then when I did lessons way, way later after playing and making money at playing, like when I was in my early 20s, where like I said, you know, I started learning about modes and stuff like that, you know, like that's when I got really good teachers. But I was already older. I was as old as the guy teaching me, you know, and the guy
Wow.
started showing me modes and stuff. But I didn't do that for very long either. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe a month or two. But the guy taught me a shit ton. So, and these
That's all.
guys were such phenomenal players, man.
That's all that counts, man. As long as you learn something, man, it doesn't matter who you learn it from. As long as you learn,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And actually, I started teaching guitar lessons to kids because once I learned what the hell I was doing, it's like that helped a lot too. When I was, you know, I'd be teaching high school kids, you know, because
Right.
I got a younger brother, and he can play circles around me because he grew up with kids next door that were like learning music, and he was learning through them because he never got any support either. But he had kids to play with. The kid was playing Iron Maiden when he was like 15. He's fucking unbelievable.
Good for him.
Yeah, I had a
And
friend like that too back in high school.
Yeah.
so
I had a few friends like that in high school.
I hated him.
You know, he'd go to high
We're
school.
still friends to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
Say, I got a couple, you know, got this kid wants to learn how to play. And then, you know, so he tells school buddies if they wanted lessons, and then they come over. And so one kid came, I just want to learn how to play Nirvana. That's it. So,
That'd take about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So here's some Nirvana. Okay. Let's drop D and play Nirvana. And
Right.
then there was another kid that wanted to learn how to play guitar solos. And that's when I learned something about music was with that one kid. I'll never forget that kid because this kid like had the dexterity, like he could fly, but everything he played was gibberish.
Yep.
It was just a lot of notes, but it didn't mean anything, right? So I used to give this kid lessons where I'd say, okay, like, you know, okay, here's the scale, here's a progression. Those notes work for this, you know, and I'd ask him play the notes, and then I'd play like a little melody or something. And then I'd say, okay, I'll play the chords now. You play. And it was just gibberish. The guy had like all the physical attributes, but no musicality whatsoever. And that kind of taught me that, you know what, you got to have some sense of melody and time if you want to play music. And that's shit that you just get taught.
You can't teach time to somebody. Either you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine down here that I got my telly from, who was a phenomenal guitar player. But I asked him, I said, hey, come and jam with me and my buddies, you know, bass player, me, guitar player, drummer, you know, come over and jam someday. What do you want to play? I'm like, I don't know, something easy. I don't know, like fucking like Back in Black or whatever, something, you know, something easy. He could not play with a drummer.
Right.
He was like he was a bedroom player, and that's all he could do. You know? And he was like absolutely phenomenal. You know, phenomenal guitar player, but had like zero sense of time.
He'll never be in a band.
No, he'd never make it in a band ever. No.
That's too bad.
And you didn't have this. You gotta have the sloppy gene a little bit to be in a band. You know what I mean? Because nothing's ever perfect when you're playing live. You know, you start off at one tempo. As the night goes on, no, you know, you get either you're having a great night and you speed up, you're playing everything faster, or you're having like kind of a shitty night and you start playing a little bit slower maybe, or somebody in the band is off time and it throws everything off, or
yeah,
you know, you got to be able to adapt. You know,
I think that's one thing that really speeds up as a catalyst to your playing is playing with other humans.
Yeah, and preferably with people who are better than you.
Always try and play with people better. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Sandra, what are you looking at? Your eyes are like glowing like blue. Like there's lightning ready
Just
to
in the
fly
chat,
out
if
of them.
I
there's
was
anything you want
looking at
What are
my
you doing the
volume because it's kind of
what are you doing
echoing.
chat shout out? We got a lot more people in here now.
Yeah, we do. All right.
Mr. Cote?
Sonia. I saw Sonia in there. Six String Brian. Hello, hello.
to, hey guys,
I think I
Bent
saw Miss
Tom.
I saw Brian Stewart in there, I think, a little while ago.
Thank you for that, Bent Tom. Mitch Heyman still here. Clive. No cover charge.
cool.
Jack the Rabbit. Brian S. is in here. Quentin James. Quentin F.
Quentin.
James.
Quit.
Fruitcake Tony.
Tell
Still
you,
hanging out.
feels weird being on this side of things.
Shut up, Hack. You're just a guest. I could take you out any second. You're disposable.
Can we talk about Bigfoot now?
I could take you out like that.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We are live with Guitar Hack. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll eventually get to them. If not, we're going to continue on.
Oh, Tom said my nephew Kyan is home now. Awesome, Tommy. Tell him I said hey.
Hi, Kyan.
Hey,
Give him
Kyan.
a big hug for me. Gussie, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Gussie.
Good evening.
All right, so
Our
we
house is
gotta torture
Sasquatch.
Hack some more. We only got him for a limited amount of time. We gotta torture him as much as we can.
You go ahead. Torture.
We need to ask all those prying questions.
I got to talk to my agent about this. Where's my roadie?
Have your people call my people. We'll do lunch.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys find my roadie, let them know I'm looking for him.
So do you have a local band that you like to go see that you support? Are you in a band, never in a band, want to be in a band?
He's in a band, but they can't play because of this whole bullshit.
As of right now, I'm in 2 bands.
The Hit Disturbers.
Yeah, so I'm in the Hit Disturbers. And this is a real kick in the nuts for us because this is our busy time. Like, we've probably lost, I don't know how many gigs at this point. But at this point, like right now, like I wouldn't be here. I'd be playing a show. And we had bookings all through the summer, right up until December. Like we had bookings, and they all went, and the bars. There's a lot of what on the positive side. Whenever this goes away, the bars that hired us have come out and said, we will rebook you. So, but as far as when that happens, who the hell knows? We were able to rehearse last Tuesday for the first time in 2.5 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I mean, just being with humans and playing music, that was really cool. Rebel Charm, I wanted to get playing again, and just to rehearse, but the other 2 guys in the band, they both have issues, so they're very cautious about it, so they want to wait. So that's sort of on hiatus.
Your wife does vocals in that band, right?
Pardon me?
Your wife leads vocals in the band.
Yeah, you're breaking up, but yeah, my wife sings in Rebel Charm. Yeah. But Rebel Charm doesn't.
Yeah, your audio is funky, Gary.
Yeah, your audio. Rebel Charm doesn't gig, unfortunately. But the Hit Disturbers gigs a lot. So if Rebel Charm started gigging, I'd have a problem because the Hit Disturbers are real busy.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think we lost Gary again.
You guys hear me?
You're very choppy, Gary.
Are you froze?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, and you're frozen. That's right.
Yeah, his camera's not moving.
See, people complain about the Canadian internet. I don't know. Now he just disappeared.
What are you watching right
He's left the building.
Okay. So, living in Canada, certainly you've heard Bigfoot stories around your area.
The Bigfoot now. Well, I'm like in the most southern part. Like literally, I'm 45 minutes away from Buffalo, New York. So
Oh, okay.
so there ain't no Bigfoot here.
No Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Is there any urban legends in your area that
No.
do you know that you know of? No.
No urban legends. No. There's no mountains. There's nothing. I live in the concrete jungle. No. I think this might be trying to get back in. Oh. Do you love live streaming?
Yeah, it's great.
Hey,
I don't know what's going on. My wife was watching Netflix. Maybe that had something to do with it.
see the guinea pigs? You know, the ones that get the wheel going, keep your internet up?
Yeah. Like I said, the old lady was watching Netflix. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never had that problem before.
Everybody's watching Netflix now, so
That's right.
everybody.
Tom, what's up? Gussie, how you doing? Blackjack? Great to see you guys.
Dale Palmer.
Dale Palmer. Thanks for watching.
Dale.
Buddy.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right, Hack. So what was the first band you were ever in? And how awful was it?
Well, that would have been Conquest. No drummer. Oh no bass player. Just 2 guitars and drums. And we did Black Diamond.
So you were like the White Stripes then?
Yeah. Yeah. Just 2 guitars, 2 amps, and drums. Yeah, that was
Wow.
a
That must have been badass.
Yeah. Drummer was really good for a kid. He was really good though.
Yeah.
And man, after that, man, it's a long time. Oh, then I was in like when I picked it up, and I had to become a good player because when I met my wife, she was in a band, and it was a 3-piece, and it was a keyboard, bass, and drums, and they had no guitar player, right? And I was dating her, and I'm like, well, I play guitar, but I really suck. And then I started working at it and practice because they had gigs and stuff, and then I started gigging with them, and and that's when I started really getting into playing. At that point, I would have been like 19 or something, 20 maybe.
Right.
You know, so I did that, and then I've been.
So you were getting like gigs at bars and places like that, right? At that age?
No, that was more of her band was more like functions, right? Like dances and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right. So it was more of a not a bar band, it was a function band.
Okay.
Right. So we did that, and then when we got married, and she moved to because she's out of town, she moved to Toronto. Then we got involved with the same type of band in Toronto, and you know, it was like I've got a Portuguese from the Portuguese culture, right?
Okay.
So we have all kinds of. There's a huge population in Toronto. They got clubs everywhere.
The Portuguese la baby.
And we did. Oh man, that was when I was gigging the most. It would have been the early '90s, and I'm talking about an easy weekend was one night. It was usually 2, 3, 4 nights. It was every weekend, all year round for 4 years.
Wow.
I played a shit ton of shows. I probably played in that amount of time, probably 200 to 300 shows.
Wow.
And we played in the GTA, which is Toronto, and we would go out of town. We played actually one year. We played a New Year's Eve show in California, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
There was a lot of bands doing what we were doing, but I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I'd say we were like one of the top 3 bands in Toronto. Like I would literally, we would play like 7, like New Year's Eve. They pay us $5,000, and we played to like 700-800 people. That was
Holy
like,
crap!
Sweet.
yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's
it
like
was cool.
$500 in America.
Yeah. And no, we'd play like we play these big like cultural festivals, and there'd be like thousands of people. Like
Wow.
it was cool. It was a really good experience, and a lot of playing, and yeah, it was and I was working at the same time. But I mean, that's shit you can do when you're in your 20s. Like I'd be having like
Yeah.
Ponderosa at 4 in the morning, and then go to work the next day.
Yeah, I can't do that shit
I
anymore.
can't do that shit now. But we did it then. I did it then. It was it was crazy, but it was fun. And we did that for like about 4 years.
That's cool, man.
So
That is
I did
cool.
a rock band, then I did a rock band, then I did a blues band, then I stopped playing, and then I started up again I think about 8 years ago. My brother actually and a buddy at work
Oops.
got me back into playing because I kept saying I'm retired. I'm not playing anymore. I'm retired. I'm not playing anymore. And I didn't pick up a guitar for like maybe 11, 12 years. And my dad passed away. And then my brother, who always played,
I'm
was like,
sorry to hear that.
he called me up one day. He says, I got a gig in 6 weeks and you're going to play with me. That was a kick in the ass. I had to learn how to play guitar in 6 weeks.
Wow.
That got me going again. Between him and my best buddy who passed away a few years ago, who found out I played, and he used to like grill me at work all the time. And one day he came in I'll never forget.
That's a great brother.
No, he was an awesome dude. He came in, brought his acoustic guitar, comes into work, walks into my office, closes the door, and he says, play this damn thing. And then I play something. I could barely play at that point. He goes, yeah, see, I know you can play. And he would be on me all the time. Anyway, so I started playing again. And then it was like just trying to find bands. And I ended up in the Hit Disturbers. It was lots. I went for lots of auditions. And then, you know what? I outgrew bands really fast. Because I'd find a band and they were like, okay. But the thing is, because I'd played before so much, like I'm relearning what I already knew, right?
Right.
Like within like 6 months, it's like, okay, I can't learn from these guys anymore. I've passed them. I need more challenge. And then I would go to the next thing. Then I started my own band with my brother. And I just kept, pushing. And now, for me, Rebel Charm, that's the band that pushes me to my absolute limit of my ability. Because the bass player in that band could pick up my guitar and he could he could just rip me apart. That's how good he is.
Wow.
So those are that's sort of like when I really want to push the limits, that's where I go. The Hit Disturbers are a little more relaxed. I don't have to push myself nearly as hard.
Right.
But with Rebel Charm. So I'm at a point now where I want to challenge myself. I got these great players. And if I just want to have fun and go out and get it, I got the Hit Disturbers. It's kind of weird.
No, what kind of stuff does Rebel Charm do? Like, what would be like a typical first set?
A typical first set would be like Journey. It'd be Journey. It'd be Foreigner, Pat Benatar. What else do we do? Lenny Kravitz.
You guys have a keyboard player?
No, 3-piece guitar, bass,
Oh, really?
Beatles. Let's put it this way. With them, I play all the music that I really like. Queen.
Cool.
Because my wife being the singer, we can vocally, there's really no limits. Whereas the Hit Disturbers, that's not the case, right? So and I have the instrumentation, between the drums and the bass player, the guys can play anything I throw at, like anything. You know what I mean? So I could never play Journey with with the Hit Disturbers. No way. Nobody could sing it. Number one.
First, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what else? Just a lot of stuff. Foreigner. We do AC/DC. Well, AC/DC would do the Hit Disturbers, but already he sings it like an octave lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas I can do AC/DC with Rebel Charm and it stays where it is.
It's regular 440 and yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
yep.
Yeah. So I'm kind of in a nice place now, and that I can really push myself. And then if I just want to relax and take the gear out and have a good time. I got the Disturbers.
Queen Bee's got a great voice, man. I've seen some of your videos, man,
Yeah.
With Rebel Charm, and she's got an awesome voice.
Yeah, she's great.
Do you have a story about maybe one of the worst gigs you ever played?
Oh, I got tons of them.
Would you like to share one?
All right, so I was playing downtown Toronto at this really seedy place. Like, I mean seedy, right? Where, like, guys were shooting up in the bathroom kind of seedy. Right?
I wasn't there, I swear to God.
I mean, it was like...
I've never been to Canada.
It was... I don't know how the hell we got... And this was when I was with that wedding band, which is the weirdest thing.
Okay.
Who the hell would have booked us in this place? What the hell were they thinking?
Right.
It got to a point where I just looked at the other two guys and I go, let's just do a blues. And we just did a blues. Like, nobody gave a shit. Like, we could have been up there, like, you know, playing kazoos.
And they wouldn't have cared.
Nobody cared. I mean, how the hell, how did this gig even come about, you know? That's one of them. I mean, shit, there's thousands of them. Or here's another one. We're playing this. We're on cable television, right? The local cable television is recording this show.
Cool.
We're playing at this hall that's just wall-to-wall people. Could have easily 600-700 people.
Wow.
We're on stage. It was like, and we're playing, and it was in the summer, and there's a blackout.
Oh, Jesus.
The whole fucking building goes down. All you got is emergency lights, and you got these
That
people just
sucks.
flipping out, right?
Yeah.
And there's
Right.
the cable TV guys are there. You know, I'll never forget. I was playing Europa by Santana, and like the guy with the big back then, he had the big camera, and the guy's coming like right up to my hands on the fretboard, and I actually knocked him on the shoulder to get away from me because he's like, it was kind of like that. But then the people was out, right? So for like, I think it was I don't know how long it was, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They had no power. They finally get an electrician. He comes, and I'm an electrician. I actually went down to the electrical room, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
Oh,
you got a
jeez.
cartridge fuse? You know, the guy had to come with a cartridge fuse, pop it in, fire it up, and then we finished the show and the cable.
You got paid for both services, though, right?
No, I didn't. Really.
Ah, man.
So there's I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton.
We've all had our stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Questions from the chat.
Brian S. said, wasn't me. It was you. I'm sure it was you, Brian S.
It was Brian.
Had to be Brian. Who else could it be? Had to be Brian.
Oops.
So, Hackster, what's up with this Strat you showed the other day? When did you buy that?
That Strat?
Yeah.
I've had that Strat for years.
Really?
Hello,
That was the first time I saw it. It was like night before last.
So I know I'm sort of known as a Les Paul guy, but when I was talking about doing those 300 shows and all that,
Yeah.
I was a Strat. I played Strat.
Really?
All I played was a Strat. I had a
So
black
what made you
Strat.
what made you go to the humbuckers, man?
Well, okay, so when I started with the Les Paul copy. That's sort of my favorite guitar. But when I was gigging for the type of music I was doing,
6-string.
I went to a Strat and I played a Strat, and I sold that Strat that I played all those shows with. I sold it, and I replaced it with another Strat, which is this one, because this Strat is way better than the Strat that I was doing all those gigs with. But I was a Strat guy. Like I was saying earlier, like I went through a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. I was right into Strats, man. I loved Strats.
Is that the only Fender you got?
It is now, yeah, because I sold my Telecaster.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to let the Telecaster go, and I had to let the Firebird go.
Okay, Sandra, can you ask Hack, does he do any of his setups on his guitars at all?
Why do you mention that? Just yesterday.
Oh, there you go, Mitch.
one of my Les Pauls, the E string went out, so I did a string swap on it, and yeah, I adjust my. I mean, here's as far as I'll go. Right, I'll do intonation and I'll adjust string heights. I don't touch the. I've never touched the truss rod ever.
Man, it's so satisfying. You got to do it.
You know, that's it. String height, intonation, and obviously I change my own string. That's nothing. But that's as far as I go. I got to do more like if it's fret dress or crowning or any of that. I take it to somebody that knows what the hell they're. I'm not going to experiment on a Les Paul.
Don't be afraid of the truss rod,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. You can't mess it up unless it's messed up already.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be afraid.
So we get 16 watching and 15 thumbs up. Am I getting this right?
Whoop whoop.
That's a record. That's pretty cool.
Probably is a record.
I'm
I'm not even watching the YouTube stream. I don't even know what that looks like.
I'm not either. I
I'm
asked.
afraid to open up anything else.
Yeah.
Don't.
I don't want to get all glitchy.
Sorry.
I already yelled at my wife and told her to turn off the freaking Netflix.
You don't yell at your wife.
I didn't yell at her.
Oh my God.
I just asked her forcefully if she would turn off the
Dang,
Netflix.
does she need any help?
I was trying
She's
to
a
be
boxer
slick.
though, ain't she? She'll knock you out, won't she?
I'm already treading on thin ice. It ain't gonna matter what I say anymore. I'm already on this shit list. Doesn't matter.
So heck, what do you got coming up for your channel? What do you got coming up for your any shows or what do you got going on?
Well, as I think most of the people in the chat already know, I've been honored to be become the third live wire.
I saw
Yeah, that's
that.
awesome, man. You guys are putting out some good stuff.
So,
I've seen the last two shows. Yeah, it's you're good on there.
yeah, I appreciate it. So that's kind of cool. So actually today, you know, I mean, I was in the place we don't speak of earlier today. I was talking about the live wires. Like you got, I mean, the amount of work. Not me. I got the easy job, but the amount of work that Brian and
Oh
Dave
my
put
God,
into that show.
that's unbelievable.
You know, like Brian's messaging me all day. Okay, I got this. Here's the intro for that. I got this. You know what I mean? It's like holy shit, man. And it's a crying shame that channel, the Livewires channel, is where it's at. That should be well over 1,000 for the amount of work and effort those guys put into that show.
Without a
It
doubt.
should be way higher than it is, right? So I'm telling folks in here, share that friggin' show.
Share the shit out of their
share the
videos.
shit out of it.
And if you're not subscribed, go fucking subscribe right now.
You know, I mean, let's put it this way.
Please.
I'll have a script. I actually get a script from these guys. That's how organized these
Oh,
guys,
that sounds familiar.
you know, and go through it and this and that. And I mean, it's just it's really well done. I was asked in the
Script. I don't fucking read it, but it's still a script.
you know, it's on a Mondays.
It's good to
at
have
9
handy.
It's on Mondays at 9:00. I'm telling you right now, this show coming Monday, it's gonna be fucking killer. It's gonna be a great show. The shit
Am I gonna be on?
the shit that I've seen that these guys have got already set up for Monday. It's going to be a really good show. So I got that going on, and then I got my regular hack show on Thursday, which come hell or high water, 8:00 Thursday, there's going to be a show, and the rest of it is I usually post a lot of live stuff, but I'm not really playing, so I got none of that.
Right?
So,
You do Hack Shack every day, man. What are you talking about?
well, we're not supposed to talk about that, but thanks, Gary, for mentioning it.
Oh, why? We're not supposed to talk about that?
Thank you, Brian S. Thank you.
I
John.
didn't get the memo. I'm sorry.
But anyway, that's okay. So what was I gonna say? And then I put a lot of backing track. Don and I, we rotate backing tracks. We play over them. We're trying to get everybody to play. We want you to play. Here's a piece of music. Play over it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I post my shit, warts and all. We're trying to encourage people. We're trying to encourage the community. Play the damn guitar. It's a supportive environment. Nobody's gonna rip you a new one because you hit a bum note. I'm the poster child for bum notes right here. You
I
know,
don't know about that.
just play, just play.
We might be tied, buddy.
We're trying to get, like my whole channel. It's all about growing the community and sharing the love of music and all that kind of stuff. So, just play your guitar and have fun with it, especially now with all this crap going on.
Right.
Couldn't
Everybody
have said it
should
better
be at
myself.
least 2 or 3 months better by now.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So that's
Should
about
be
it.
good enough.
And you're supposed to have a playing segment on this show.
Am I? I can play now if you want.
Haven't we
Wait, take
talked
me-
about that a few times?
Well, once or twice, maybe.
And somebody said, I'm going to start practicing every day. And I said, okay, practice
Okay,
every day.
Mom. I never said that, Mom. I never said I'd practice every day.
You don't need a 6-month reminder.
6-hour reminder would be better.
Yeah.
I'm kind of forgetful.
Yeah, you should have playing segments. Absolutely.
I can show. Heck, I'm going to show you how I play for those about the rock.
That was my riff of the week last week.
I know. I watched it twice.
Actually, if Mitch is still in here, so Mitch was saying that he and I want to thank Mitch, gave me the idea. Put those riffs of the week up as separate videos. So now every riff of the week that you see Monday on the live wires will be up on my channel on Tuesday, and I got a really
nice.
cool one coming up tomorrow on Monday. So check it.
Heck, were you on my guitar test video on my channel like last week or week before?
Is your camera frozen
it was
again?
great.
ER was there.
I was there.
Brian was there. Where?
Yeah, I was there,
Did
man.
Did I play for those about the rock correctly?
One chord. You didn't play.
Yeah, the B to the
F
B to the A. I screwed up. Yeah, but the intro, I mean.
Well, the intro was fine. It was the F sharp over the D, which
Yeah.
AC/DC does that. That's the
Trademark.
what they say on Highway to Hell that nobody plays right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, as long as I have your stamp of approval, I'm cool.
Well, the thing is, when I do these riffs of the day, like I do my research. He's out again.
Go ahead. Just keep going.
When I do these riffs of the day, like I do my research, like I make sure that I'm showing the way the artist plays the song, and sometimes, and this is true when I'm trying to learn how to play a cover a song for the band.
So let me ask you, if you have an artist that plays it like 2 different ways, like if he plays it different live, which version would you choose?
Well, you try to go with I try to go with the record because that's what people are more familiar with. But
I just got booted.
But like and when you try and look up a song, there's certain guys on YouTube that will show you exactly how to. One guy, Guitar 365. I know that if I'm trying to learn a song, that guy's covered.
He's got it right.
He's got it right.
Yeah.
I was trying to I just did one. I did a Judas Priest one that'll come up on a future live wires, and I went to a couple of different people, and I'm like hearing it. I'm like, that's not right. And then I went to another guy, and that's not right. But he got that part, and that guy got that part right. So then my riff of the week is I took this piece, and and put them together. And here's the way, or if you really get stuck, if I can find a live clip, I'll watch where the guy's hands are.
Right.
So it takes, so those riffs of the week, it's a little bit of research going in there to make sure that what I'm showing is the way it's played on the record. So they take a bit of time sometimes, right?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm trying to squeeze it in like 4 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I know about trying to cram as much info in as little time as possible.
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
No.
So, Hack, for riff of the week, next week, what are you working on? Or is it a secret?
I can tell you the riffs I got coming up. Oh shit! Trying to remember.
Can you? If it's secret, don't give it up. If it's a
I'll tell you the bands. I got Queen coming up. I got Judas Priest coming up that I just mentioned.
Head Out on the Highway.
Oh, that's too easy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's here. Riff of the week, eDNA. Uh,
So
uh,
any AC/DC song, pretty much.
I don't know what else I got. You know what? I stockpiled a whole bunch of them, so I don't even remember what. I sent Brian a shit ton. I
If
did
it's
the Black
Queen,
Sabbath one already,
if it's
right?
Queen, I'm stoked.
Yeah, Queen. Oh, and the Queen one I'm gonna show. Everybody fucking plays it wrong.
I believe it.
There's one note that nobody hits, and if you listen to the record, Brian May is hitting it every time.
Do you hear about Brian May? He had the heart
Yeah,
attack last week.
yeah,
Apparently, he's doing okay though.
yeah.
Bob Kulick passed away.
Oh yeah, you
Bruce
guys.
Kulick.
Bob Kulick.
Bob Kulick.
We're gonna do a thing on Bob Kulick on the Livewire show on Monday. But
Jimmy Cobb passed away.
for those of you that don't know who Bob Kulick is, Bruce Kulick is the guy who played in Kiss for 12 years. He's is Bob's brother. Bob's 4 years older than Bruce, and
Played for Wasp.
yeah, he did some Wasp records. He also he was the guy that auditioned for the Ace Frehley spot with Kiss,
That's right. He did.
and Ace Frehley got it, and Bob didn't get it because Bob had no hair, and Kiss wanted a certain image, and they liked the sloppiness of Ace, and Bob was just a more schooled player, and they wanted to go with Ace, so obviously they went with Ace. But
I mean,
Guest did a lot of ghost spot. Well, I'm going to talk about all this on Monday's show, but he did a
Yeah,
lot of.
don't give it up, man. Don't give it all away.
He was a ghost guitar player for Kiss on a lot of records.
Don't all those guys wear wigs now?
Paul Stanley,
Except for Gene.
Gene. Okay,
Paul Stanley's got to be wearing a wig.
So they well when they perform,
Yeah.
right? So Gene is wearing a piece. He's got to be.
so what would the difference be if Bob had no hair or not? When he's in full dress costume for the show, he would be wearing a wig, right?
I guess they didn't want that. They wanted everybody. The thing is with Kiss. So I mean, you guys open up that can of worms. I could talk about Kiss for the next 6 hours, but
Sorry.
I got nothing to do.
Kiss, when they started, their whole thing, their whole vision was they basically wanted they wanted to take the Beatles and Alice Cooper and put them together. They wanted four guys who could write, sing, and perform like the Beatles, and they wanted the theatrics of Alice Cooper. So they wanted four Alice Coopers on stage, and that's sort of the whole thing with Kiss. And so they wanted to have that where you saw one guy, he belonged to that group, just kind of like the Beatles. That was sort of their blueprint.
Right.
You saw Ringo, he belonged to that group of guys, just from the haircut and clothes.
Yeah, he did too.
That was their whole thing. It was, yeah. And that's why, everybody in Kiss sang lead vocal. Everybody in Kiss wrote material. Mind you, Paul and Gene did the bulk of it, but Ace would throw in the odd thing and Peter would try. I'm not going to get into Peter right now.
Poor Peter.
Yeah. So,
All right.
I was just talking to Mini Peter this afternoon, actually.
Working Mark.
Yeah. Mark is so cool, man. He's the coolest guy ever.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I told him we'd have him on again, Sandra, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
I didn't give him like a date or anything. I just said, yeah, we're gonna have you back on, bro. Without his makeup this time.
Right. Or a different character. You never know.
No, we just want Mark. We want Mark.
Heck, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Do you have any questions for us?
Not at the moment. I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I want to thank people that tuned in. I was promoting the show. I was asking folks earlier in the day, come check it out. And it's like, I don't know where Clive is, if he's still in here. It's probably like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
So thank him for staying up and everybody for checking out the show.
Clive is awesome, man. I love Clive. He's a great guy.
And most importantly, Live Wires, 9 p.m. Monday. It's going to be a killer show. Tell your friends, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Sweet. Great to have you on, Hack, finally.
Thanks so much, man.
It won't be the last time. Trust me.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks,
You'll
Jack
be on
Rabbit,
again.
Black Jack, Dale Palmer, Fruitcake Tony,
Paul Lou,
Johnny Bean, Paul, yep, Dale
Johnny
Palmer,
Bean in the house. Yeah, that's
Brian
cool shit.
S., Gurr,
Grr, hey, grr.
Brian
Bet
Gurr,
Tom, the
original
Dog Pop.
Paramutant.
Thank you for tuning in. Alan Robson, Sonia, Gussie Wells. And that's it. I'm going to cut it.
Thanks,
Jack,
everybody.
peace out. Peace out, everybody. See you guys backstage for a minute.
Cheers.
Okay. Peace out, folks. Love
Bye,
you all.
guys.
Thanks for hanging out.